It was found out, and maybe even happened, on the 25th of January 2023, on Wednesday, that an 8 millimeter long, 6 millimeter diameter cylindrical, silver colored, radioactive ceramic cesium 137 mining capsule fell through a bolt hole of a truck that was traveling at speed on a 712-mile-long stretch of highway from Newman to Malaga, Western Australia. This is something about the size of a .22 caliber bullet, or literally a broken off piece of screw or bolt that might be sitting on the side of the road. That's round, so it was moving at speed and would have bounced along. Over a prolonged period of exposure, it could cause acute radiation sickness and or a burn. And that means you'll really, really get sick fast. It emits beta and gamma rays. How much? A year's worth of background radiation every hour. So don't be exposed to it. Now, relatively dangerous, yes. At 19 billion becquerels of energy, or of, atomic annihilation, as it contains an unstable element that's breaking down. Or, if you know this measurement, 1/2 curie of energy exposure, or the equivalent to, in an hour, getting 10 x-rays in a row. They don't specify whether it's abdominal or chest x-rays. Chest x-rays are much more commonly referred to as this number and are much lower. It's 2 millisieverts per hour, or something of that nature. Anyway, originally listed as 1,400 kilometers, the roads, the shortest route, which would have been taken by the mining crews, probably is 1,147 kilometers all the way to 1,400 kilometers. It's on a specific highway, but they keep failing to mention the name of it for some reason. Okay, now you've heard in 2 minutes and 12 seconds all the data that's at one or two links below. Actually, just one, really. And I won't get flagged for this probably, and I'm including a Google map if you want to look at it, and it should default to walking because that's the only way this is going to be found. First order of business, can it be detected by radiation? The radiation it's producing is weak enough that it can be blocked by a couple of millimeters of dirt. If it isn't on the road itself, it is going to fall because of the curve of the highway. It'll fall into dirt. Next, doesn't matter what part of Australia, any section of highway, unless it's traveled a great deal on the edges, is going to have dirt on it, and it's going to get mixed with dirt. The radiation being blocked by the dirt also makes it to where it's not very dangerous, technically. Finding it. 712 miles trying to locate something the size of a .22 caliber bullet sitting on a road with maybe millions of little bits of metal everywhere. So how would you differentiate it if you were to do so? How would you locate it? This is not instructions on how to find it. Number one, a radiation detector seems like still a better idea. A lot better than trying to do it with your eyes. The next thing is running it along the road and having a car running along, trying to pick it up. And also deliberately using a magnet to just pick up every damn thing that's metal. If it's what I think it is, this ceramic, or made into a ceramic blob of cesium 137 is inside of a capsule to make it safeable, meaning it has one direction of emission, maybe. That depends on what it was used for. I'm just spitballing here, which means depending on which way it landed, which means it should be, if it's sitting outside, it's aiming, quote unquote, a direction. It may have flipped over and be pointing into the ground, or it may be pointing straight up in the air. Either way, don't go near it. But the equipment that could be used could be literally just basically a metal pickup magnet thing going along the road, and them analyzing everything that comes through to hopefully find it. But that's only if it happens to have a magnetic casing. It might just be zinc. It might be chrome. It could be all sorts of things. The only knowledge I have of this, and this is going to sound weird, is the radioactive pellets made out of plutonium. Plutonium and uranium are both metals. I actually don't remember if they're magnetic. I didn't look that up. But the point is, they're put in a plated state. They're covered with plated material, and until they get really, really close to each other, they don't produce heat. So you put two or three of them in a separation, in a container, and then you put them together, and that produces heat, and that's used for a heating element to keep equipment warm on the South Pole and also in space. That's literally what they're mostly used for. They're not really useful for anything else. So let's get a couple of the weird crap people are going to headline with, blood-drenched text on your YouTube videos. Is this part of an atom bomb? Let's get that out of the way. No, it's not part of an atom bomb. It's not an initiator or a nuclear pellet or the big bada boomer here. The next thing, is this safe to go near? No, don't. Next, do not pick it up or touch it. But you'd have to have prolonged contact for it to even cause a burn or make you sick. But if you become sick, you will be ridiculously sick, and your likelihood of cancer is ridiculously higher. Next, some stretches of road in Australia, just like in the United States, will have radioactive material because mining trucks going down the road inadvertently are also carrying uranium-bearing rock. It's one of the problems and one of the hazards of mining. A large portion of the planet's surface will have little blobs or bits of uranium in it. It just happens. You can go around with a Geiger counter out in the desert and find the shit all the time. I'm not kidding. People used to prospect for it back when that was not considered unusual. You can look it up on YouTube if you want to. So, why did I do this video? Someone asked me to. Literally dead ass, someone asked me to. Next, would this be considered something that should have national news in every country? Not really. This is literally just West Australia, and the primary method they're thinking they're going to get it is someone hopefully driving over it and getting it stuck in the tread of their tire. Now here's the problem. It can get stuck in the tread of a tire on a highway where it'll have a continuous exposure to rotation as long as you don't increase or decrease speed. But as soon as you leave the road and change speed, that will distort the shape of the tire and it will come out some other place, including maybe outside your house or by the 7-Eleven or the equivalent in Australia. I give this about a 0 chance of being found. And yeah, mining industry is fun. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. Some of you will need it for many decades to come.